Stephen, you've just launched the new BAFE 205 scheme for fire risk assessment. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, it started from the major serious fires at Lakenhall House in London and Rose Park in Scotland. And one of the things that became very apparent is that the fire risk assessments, if they'd taken place at all, were lacking. And there was no standard measure of what a fire risk assessor should be capable of doing. So there were two strands, one of which was the Competency Council, which is looking at individual competence. And we determined at BAFE that following the line of the other schemes that we have, we'd produce a scheme for companies who provide life safety fire risk assessments. We gathered together a group of industry experts from end users, from the certification bodies, and have developed a scheme which we launched in May, and were delighted that the first certification bodies got their UKAS accreditation in the last week or so.
These fire risk assessors could be a company or it could be a one-man band, could it not?
We were very keen when we started the scheme to recognise that a lot of fire risk assessors are one-man bands, very competent, very skilled, but by the same token they need to have an infrastructure that the end user can be confident is going to provide them with the right sort of insurances, is going to mean that if there are quality problems that they have an accessible quality management system. So we have pitched the scheme at companies, but those companies can be individuals, they can be larger organisations, and recently we've had to slightly modify the scheme to take into account the fact that a number of companies also subcontract work, whether it be because of particular skills or because of geographic requirements, out to smaller companies. So that is now also incorporated.
I think if I was a responsible person for a company or a building, I think I would take great reassurance in having a fire risk assessment that's been cleared by BAFE and authorised. So,
well, it is a requirement. The Regulatory Reform Act and the Fire Scotland Act both call upon the responsible person who is in charge of the building to have a fire risk assessment. Now that doesn't mean that this is a consultant's charter. It may well be for simple premises that the responsible person can do one himself or get a member of his team to do them. But where buildings become more complicated, it is often going to be the case that they need to call in outside expertise. And what we need to have is a framework where they can have some reassurance that the companies they call upon are working within a framework that the certification bodies have invested themselves heavily in being able to check that they do what it says on the tin.
well, we look forward to exploring the market and taking the scheme forward. Thank you very much indeed.
Good. Well, we're delighted that NSI, with whom we've had a long partnership, have taken this on, and we look forward to the scheme having a really healthy and successful future.
Great. Thanks very much indeed.
Pleasure.